Kurosaki was an ordinary seaside town.
Morning.
Until they showed up.
Oh my God.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to Paws On Animation.
This time we're covering the anime miniseries Housing Complex C.
And this series originally aired in October of 2022 and was intended to be an Adult Swim Halloween special series. This show shows a new family moving into an old housing complex on the island of Ichigo. However, a darkness starts to emerge that puts everyone in danger, and you know where this is going.
Yeah, this anime. And before we say, be sure to like, subscribe, and occasionally some future podcasts and all the pause videos.
Absolutely. It's in the horror genre, which is why we have it for this month.
Yep.
And it was only 4 episodes.
Yeah, that's true. You could literally watch the whole thing in one sitting and be done with the whole series. And before you ask, no, there will never be a season 2 of the show. If you've seen it, the way it ends, it's one and done.
Absolutely. It was directed by Yuji Nara, written by Amphibian, and by Studio Akatsuki, and it's licensed by Warner Brothers. So the plot is Kimi Shirokado is an eccentric little girl who lives in a low-cost housing complex.
Low cost.
I think that goes hand in hand in America, but called Housing Complex C in the fictional seaside town of Kurosaki. That's funny because it's on the island of Ichigo.
Yeah, so we already knew the reference.
During the summer, she befriends city girl Yuri Koshiede when her family moves in from Tokyo along with Middle Eastern fishing interns. And a series of strange events soon occurs, from dead animals appearing on the property to tenants mysteriously disappearing, with moss growing inside their apartments.
Yeah, it gets bad quickly.
This was weird as hell.
There's no other way to describe it. I mean, and when this came out, people were like, "Oh my gosh, this is great! It's not like anything else." Yes, it is.
That's true.
It was. I don't know. It was really, really bizarre, and I get people want to see bizarre. People want to see strange and twisty and turny and slightly occulted. They want to see all that. I think it should have been a little more than 4 episodes because it seemed like, they built it up for 2 episodes, reaching somewhere the 3rd episode, then everything comes at you at once in the 4th episode. The backstory, the horror, the slayings, the revelation, everything happens in the final episode, and you're supposed to take it all in and accept that this is some cosmic test of the universe, see if humans need to exist.
The mildest episode was the first one. It was the one where the least amount of things happened.
Except for the beginning.
The least amount of crap. Well,
yeah.
The least amount of crap. It was the mildest, and that's saying a lot. And as each episode aired, it got progressively worse. And by the last episode, it was truly a nightmare. This was definitely a horror anime. It can't be categorized as anything else. But I do like the tongue-in-cheek, the island of Ichigo.
Kurosaki. Yeah, that actually was a pretty good shout out
in
there.
In the seaside town of Kurosaki.
Yep.
So, we had some VAs that we know doing the English dub. We had Kaylee Mills, Susie Young, who we've heard a few times, Caitlin Glass.
Definitely know her.
And Ryan Colt Levy.
Yes, a bonus.
And we recognized his voice when we heard him. It was like, oh my gosh, you recognize he and Caitlin Glass.
Right.
But this is actually something you definitely have to watch. Telling you about it doesn't do it justice as far as being a horror anime. Some people may think this is mild and that we're wussies, but that's not it. This is a very disturbing anime, and it was written to be disturbing,
right?
And it succeeds at being disturbing,
right?
So if that's the type of anime or series you're looking for, that's really out there, that focuses on folklore and legends of different cultures,
and loving Lovecraft as well,
right? And not the mild type of legends. This is definitely one that you should watch.
Yeah. And like you said, it keeps progressively getting more unsettling. Like I said, you already start off the first few minutes with crap happening in the beginning. Then it gets calm. And then as these different things start showing up, it gets more and more unsettling as you watch. Which is why you probably shouldn't be watching this that late in the evening.
But
even
that's
when
when
they
they
aired
aired
it. So I guess to give that ambiance, it's like, make sure it a little sooner. And it definitely at least gives a lot of twists because you're thinking these characters are one way, but they turn out to be something else entirely. Everyone on this island is either a victim or psychopath, one or the other. And there was already tension going on before then because some of the tenants were being, we'll say, prejudiced towards the Middle Easterners working there for the interns, and you can kind of tell part of this was made for a Western audience because of different subject matters, and Adult Swim wants to create their own shows rather than buying the license to air a few of them. So this is one of those originals that they did, especially for October. And one of the signs in here, besides what we just mentioned, is that it's a small cast of characters and it's on a not well populated place. It's like a sleepy town to fit the mood. And usually they don't like to draw a lot of backgrounds and a whole lot of people and crowds and things, so they made sure to have it in a place where it was limited in the amounts of drawing and movement. And at least here they made it work for the story and trying to have it like feeling like those old horror stories or ghost stories stuff that people would tell and claim that this stuff really happened. They were, like I said, legends.
Definitely. One of the first clues something is wrong that we should have noticed is you've got Kimmy, who's a 9-year-old, and the people who live in the complex don't hunt her as her mother, and she's never seen outside her apartment.
Yeah.
She never leaves the apartment.
Yeah, they keep saying, oh, the mom's in the house, she's in bed or something. Think, oh, she's sick or something.
And she acts like she knows more about what's going on than other people do. And then Yuri shows up, the 10-year-old girl, and she begins to be friends with her, acting like a big sister, but she still doesn't leave the apartment.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, something's wrong here. And it's not, and they don't have the pandemic or anything happening in this universe, so you can't use that as an excuse.
they keep referring to the people who are Japanese as foreigners.
Yeah, constantly. Foreigners. The foreigners are here, the foreign interns. It's like, okay, you're a little more aggressive calling them foreigners than usual. And they just straight up say they were being prejudiced against them, so... Yeah, that's like one of the few, very little things that you kind of have a problem with, but I guess when you get to the final episode, you see why they say it, because this was part of a reason why crap was going wrong, because of people having prejudice against each other for little to no reason, and they just animosity, so it does play into it, but you kind of wish it wasn't there, because like you got worse things to worry about than what country the person's coming from in this anime.
Definitely. In that last episode, the images and what happens and
it's scary.
Lots of stuff. Yeah, it's really, and the way it ends, as Rascal said, there's no way for a season 2. It's
not, I don't even think you even call it a happy ending. It was just an ending. And
no, there's no happy ending.
No, you can't call it that. Like, the most you can say is that there's at least one person that is spared and makes it out and everything returns to normal. That's all you can say. Everything else, you're going to have to wait and see, because it's almost like something you wouldn't believe happened if someone told you. You would have to see for yourself. It was that crazy.
Now, I know a lot of people like Terrifier and Scream and movies like that. If you want something that's in 4 episodes that's really similar to how those movies are, this is for you. They advertise it as horror and it delivers.
Right. And they didn't have to show that much for you to be interested.
And I think if they had shown more than they did in the commercials, it would have ruined the effect.
Yeah.
It would have ruined it, because you wouldn't be surprised. And even though we're telling you these things, what we're telling you will not prepare you for the events that happen within this series, and especially the last episode, aptly titled The End of the Line.
Yeah.
Didn't expect any of the stuff in here that happened to happen, and neither will you.
No.
But if you have actually watched Housing Complex C, let us know in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was meh? Were you prepared for what you saw?
Or not.
Let us know in the comments below. Did you recognize the shout out to Ichigo Kurosaki? We didn't.
Right.
So, and if you haven't seen it, maybe it's going to be aired again this year.
Right.
It would be a smart thing to do because I don't think a lot of people actually saw it in 2022.
Right.
So if you're interested, just look out for it on Cartoon Network. Check the schedule and see if it's going to be in the lineup for October. And if it is, they'll probably start advertising it like they did last year.
Right. And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and weekly videos of your favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. So thanks so much for joining us today. We appreciate you so much.
Yes. Thank you for watching. I'm Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.